I'm going to start off by saying that, yes, I am very aware that the world as we know it is kind of a mess right now. And I live in America where it's relatively safe compared to the rest of the world. I actually wake up in my average home and feel kind of blessed, to be honest, that I don't live in somewhere else that is in a much worse state of being. And that's why I'm making this video. Now, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that the political figure Charlie Kirk is no longer with us. We all know what happened there. Even though he's not the only event that has happened in the recent weeks that has made people even more on edge, because I think people have been getting on edge slowly but surely throughout the years because economically things are getting worse. Making a standard of living is getting harder. I feel for people who have bought the lie, went to college, and are now in debt, struggling to make ends meet. They bought the lie, and the unfortunate part is that you shouldn't be punished for doing the right thing or be told to do something and then go do it and basically get pigeonholed. Like the American worker has been, for lack of a better term, screwed over. And honestly, not just the Charlie Kirk incident, but all throughout all the big stories you see nowadays, I see that as a byproduct of people not really having much direction. And it's not really that I am excusing their actions, but I do understand how someone can go from being a well-adjusted human being to, well, crashing out. Basically, the way the world's been going, it's putting people on edge. People are stressed. I've been seeing it throughout my daily life. I've been seeing a lot of people on the edge, and then the slightest inconvenience finally makes them snap. I was driving on the freeway this week, and someone was literally trying to throw themselves out of the driver's seat of a car and open up the door, and it almost caused a giant pile up. I was honking the horn to keep everybody kind of like with their heads up to stay awake and alert, and the car got off the freeway and all that. But it was just showing me that people, for lack of a better term, and oh man, I keep using that word, but they're crashing out hard. And I think that part of this video is acknowledging the problem that is going on. That part of what is going on is just because people are on edge. And I think that's why we have people pulling more extreme acts. Again, can't stress this enough. I'm not justifying what these people are doing. I don't agree with a lot of these things. I think that if you look around, put down the phones, you'll see that most people are not as edgy as they appear online. In fact, a lot of people really do want things to go back to a somewhat sense of normal so they could get on with their lives. That's way easier said than done, and I know that the outcome of that is way out of my control, but I'm just pointing out the problem for the first part. Again, I think that we are still responsible for how we handle this, what we put out there, what we post, because although I know that most people aren't extreme, I have been seeing maybe 2 out of 10 people I know get rather extreme online this week and post some things where they are celebrating all the carnage that's been going on. So those extremists are out there, but I don't think that that's a vast majority. I think a lot of people are silent, and then you have the really loud extreme voices drown out and project onto other people who would rather just go about their business and do their daily tasks. Reason I say this is because although I don't have the solution to the overall, state of the world, I can't snap my fingers and make all the problems go away like I'm Tony Stark at the end of Avengers Endgame. But throughout the years, because I did grow up in chaos, it's kind of crazy because when I was a kid, I was living in the world of chaos while everyone else tended to be living up. And now a lot of people are living in the world of chaos where I'm kind of putting myself in my own bubble and enjoying what I can from my life, because I can't control the state of the world itself. I can't control the state of my world. And that's kind of where this video is going, because I want to give at least somewhat of a light in the dark times. So, this next part is for the people who want to rise above the craziness and find their way home, find at least something that they can look forward to every day. And that's something I give myself. I mean, I still have my day job, but after I get off of my day job and I go about, I usually give myself a goal to work towards: fitness, jujitsu, running, guitar, piano, other things. I'm always brainstorming, seeing if I could create something or put something out there online that might raise a couple people up in a time where controversy is what sells. I also think it's more authentic because all these lifestyle videos you usually see on the internet are from people who have a lot of money. I'm just your average American guy. I just am. I feel like, not to put myself up on a pedestal, but I feel like when I just post a guitar video or me making some ice cream in my place, it seems mundane, but that mundane tone can show people that if they're living quote unquote a normal life, they can make a normal life exciting. Because I think that's also part of the problem. A lot of people feel like a normal life isn't enough. Like, they'll be forgotten if they live a normal life because all the glitz and the glam that social media has thrown out there. But the one thing I'm here to say is that you shouldn't be trying to live up to that unrealistic expectation. What you should be trying to do is find a passion you enjoy and try to find a way to make it work for you. I don't have the complete roadmap. Anyone who says they're selling you a course on how to make everything go away with like 3 or 4 simple tricks for like $50 a month, they're just trying to sell you on something that's going to fill up their pockets, in my opinion. I think real success, gratification, and forging of your own world, it doesn't usually go as linear as people try to sell it out to be. I think that it is a bit of a process. You're going to go through some things that work and some things that don't. Just like with me, I mean, getting to where I was, if I could look back 10 years, was a lot of trial and error. And a lot of it was, is it even worth trying anymore? I'd have moments of doubt where I got discouraged. I had to take a step back. I had to really step back and feel the sadness. But over time, I feel like I was able to forge at least a personal bubble that I felt really helped keep my calm, and it's helping me keep my calm in today's times. But again, my idea of a personal bubble is probably going to be different from your idea of a personal bubble or what you're going to find fulfillment in. Everybody's different. I'm not saying to completely copy me par for par, but at least get the idea that you can find something worth keeping on going for. Because a lot of these doomsdayers and everything going around, a lot of it just does come from a sense of hopelessness. And I'm not saying that hopelessness isn't warranted. I believe that, honestly, we shouldn't have to search this hard just to feel some sense of sanity. I felt like, people should be able to work one job, be able to support themselves, pay off their car payments, pay off their insurance, pay off their homes, and actually own one, be able to have a wife or a husband, a family if they want to. I feel like that should be on the table for anyone who's willing to at least work, a full-time job. And, 40 hours a week, with the amount of work I do between my day job, all my projects, my, LLC that I started up, I'm not going to give too much information on that, but I have been keeping myself rather busy. I don't think 40 hours is a whole lot, but, to some people it might be, and that's all right. But I really don't think anyone should have to work more than 40 hours to make an honest living. I think that, people should be able to have affordable education, be able to pay that off realistically, and, just work one job and enjoy the rest of their lives in their leisure time. It should be that simple, but it's not anymore. I think like the hard pill to swallow is that the old way of doing things is kind of going away, and we are going to have to search for a new way of doing things. And, how did I do that? And this is the vague one, because again, I'm not a one-size-fits-all guy. I found community. I found like-minded people, because a lot of us buy these narratives that there is no hope. But if you search hard enough, if you go through enough wrong people or wrong situations, you will eventually stumble across the right people in the right situations, and it will change your outlook to where you are more willing to go out there and get things done and search and feel like you have something to fight for. So, I'm going to wrap this up and give you a condensed version with all the spewing I just did. Yes, I do think that we are facing a ton of problems. I think mental health is at an all-time low. A lot of people have been buying a bunch of lies through no fault of their own, and they are starting to get rightfully frustrated. But I do believe that it is on us to how we're handling that frustration, and it does hurt to see a lot of people out there misuse it. And I think the amplification of social media, of these extreme voices, has caused a lot of people to think that it's darker than it really is. My advice: go out there, find what you want to do with your life, go do it, drown out the extreme voices, drown out the crazies, because they're so loud that they kind of drown out all the sane ones, because all the sane people don't really speak up much anymore. Because, like I said, in my personal social media, I've been looking, and a lot of people who are not on board with how crazy the world is getting, it outnumbers the people who are, basically trying to be this Joker type persona in the world. And you know what that does? That gives me hope that, when you take off the digital filter, things do seem more hopeful. So, don't take the black pill, be aware of the world's problems, but find out who you want to be, and then use that momentum once you find it to be a light in this world, because we do need that right now. We do need to raise the vibration. We do need to show more love instead of hate. And we do need to, collectively do better as a species, because I'm not saying that we're perfect by any means, because trust me, us humans, we're far from perfect. But these times should be teaching us how fragile it all can be, and we shouldn't just be willing to throw it all away. And the reason I'm saying this now is because I think a lot of people are losing sight of how relatively stable things are compared to how they can be. And if we throw it away and invite in more chaos, that does fall on us, and I don't want to see that happen. Is it easier said than done? Yes. I don't want to sound like I'm on some sort of high horse, but I also do want to believe that if we don't give up hope and we keep trying, then I think we'll be all right. It just is going to take time, patience, and a lot more of us treating each other like neighbors instead of enemies, But that's what I got to say. Try to be a positive influence, try to be a light, try to do good, and again, if you're one of the majority, which is not the extreme type, keep it up, because we do need you. But peace out. I'll see you guys on the next one, and God bless.